everyone. Happy Monday. My name is Laura Milligan, and my blog is lauramilligan.com if you'd like to look for me there. And I have some fun things to share with you today. I always start out by giving away the cards that I made the prior week. And so I have four cards from last week that I'm going to give away. And I'm going to share something a little bit different than what I normally do today. So I'm going to switch my camera view down. If you're there, give me a shout out. It's still snowing here in Ohio. I don't know if it is where you are, but we've been getting quite a bit of snow. We got a ton of snow last week. We're getting more today. I'm not sure if you can see behind me through the window, but we are getting snow. So I'm going to go ahead and point my camera down, and I have a couple things that I'm going to share. First of all, I'm going to show you the cards that I made last week, and I have winners for these. And just by leaving a comment, you have the chance to win the cards that I make. So I have a couple new people today. If I don't have your address, please get in touch with me. You can send me a message or email me at laura@lauramilligan.com so that I can get your address to send you your card. So I started out on Monday last week with 3 cards featuring the On the Horizons stamp set suite of products. It's one of my favorites from the mini catalog. And this is going to Jennifer Cochrane. I'm not sure if I'm saying your name right. Jennifer, I need your address. So let me just email me or get in touch with me. This one is going to Kathy Poperod. This was just a quick little note card, an envelope, just covered with some designer paper, and then a center part popped up with a simple greeting. And then this is a tent card. This is the one that got a lot of love last week. I think everybody liked this, and I don't know if it's because of, some of you that are watching are in the winter in the snow like I am, but the little beach scene seemed to be very appealing, and I just think these tent cards are really fun. This is going to Pat Munn. And then on Thursday, I went live and I featured the Driving By stamp set. This is one of the free products that you can get through Celebration with the $50 product order. It is a good day to stay in and stamp. I agree. Hi, everybody. Hi, Colleen. Hi, Carol, Cheryl, Myra. Debbie. Thank you for joining in today. So this was the first card that I made, and I think everybody likes a black and white combination with maybe another color as a pop, to add a pop of color. But this one is going to Jackie Scarola. And then this was kind of fun. It's like, I call it my groovy card, and I showed how to do this background. It was really fun. And of course with the van and the little flowers for flower power, right? When you think of the 70s, you think of flower power. And this is going to Vicki Rhodes. So Vicki, I will need your address. So if you're watching this today, be sure to get in touch with me so that I can mail you this card. Hi, Sherry. Hi, Tennessee Grand. Good to see you all. Okay, so I am doing, first of all, I released a new class on Friday, and it is featuring the Best Delivery stamp set, which is a super cute stamp set. It features this pickup truck, and I said in my email that went out about this, who knew that we needed a pickup truck in our, it's not even a pickup truck, it's like more like a moving van. Who knew that we needed this in our stamp collection? But I think that it's fun, and it's always fun to switch things up. So this is a B box that I'm offering. It has a quick turnaround. Registration ends this Friday, January 29th. It includes 4 different cards. One is a shaker card, and over $26 in product. I will put the link for registration to this when I'm done with my Facebook Live today. But this is a really fun class featuring some pretty neat product. Okay, so what I'm going to do today, I wanted to showcase something that I do every week to those customers and friends that are on my email list. And I do what I call weekend inspiration. So if you are not on my email list, you really should be. And so I just wanted to show you, this is an example of project sheets that I send out every weekend. It has the name of the stamp set, there's a card idea. I list all the supplies needed to create this card, the dimensions, and then step by step, I walk through an explanation of how to put the card together. So I thought it would be fun today to just duplicate this card. Some of the cards, are a little bit more involved. They may have a fun fold, something like that. But I send out 3 or 4 card ideas, sometimes a 3D. The one I sent out yesterday had a 3D, adorable little 3D project. But this is the card that I'm making today, and you can see it's just like what's on the project sheet. So I encourage you, if you are not on my email list, I encourage you to sign up. So this features the In the Moment stamp set, and I'm just going to create this card with you today. So I referred to the project sheet, of course, and that will tell you all the measurements that you need to create this particular card. So I am using the In the Moment stamp set and my black tuxedo, Memento Black ink pad. I'm going to ink this up here. I'm going to slide down a little bit so you can see me a little bit better. Hey, Pat, I don't know if you saw Pat, but you won one of the cards. So I'm glad that you are joining in today. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and just stamp this. A young woman looking out the window. Maybe she's watching the snow. I don't know. And then for the greeting, I used the Special Moments stamp set, and this is also a celebration reward that you can get. This is with a $100 order. This is a bigger stamp set. It has 21 different greetings, and they are really good greetings. So this is free with a $100 purchase. You all know it's pretty easy to get to that $100 level, right? It's a photopolymer stamp set, so I'm stamping on my mat, and I'm just going to stamp this above my image. Okay, now I'm just going to use some blends. Oh, yeah, there's my ink pad lid. I want to put that on there. All right, so I'm going to bring in my blends, and of course, we love our blends. To me, it's my favorite way to add some color. So I'm just going to start. This is Petal Pink Light. People seem to really enjoy these project sheets. They are free. And it's, you can, it's just a good way to get some different ideas just by signing up. So I hope that some of you will sign up if you're not on my list already. Okay, so her hair I'm going to do with Light Daffodil Delight. That's so saffron. Let's see here. Here it is. So my Light Daffodil Delight and Light Crumb Cake, and that's how I did her hair. And of course, all of this is listed on the tutorial. She kind of has highlights in her hair. It's pretty. I'll add some Light Crumb Cake. I know that some of you watching do get these tutorials, and I always get a good response when I send them out. So I know that some people print them out and keep them in a folder. Some people just store them in a file on their computer. But okay, so now for her shirt, I am going to use Pool Party. I just wanted to check. I want to do this just like the tutorial, so I keep referring to that to make sure I do it right. So I'm going to use, this is Dark Pool Party, and I'm going to just add some dark little streaks here. And then I'm going to blend this in with my Light Pool Party. This is a great stamp set. This was one that demonstrators were able to get early as part of an event that was held back in November. And honestly, I have not used it much until today. But it is a great card. Okay, and then for her pants, she is wearing jeans. So I'm going to start with my dark Night of Navy and just highlight places where I think it would be dark. And you know that what I've always said is where Stampin' Up! Puts these lines in the stamp, to me that's the first place I go to with my dark marker or my dark blend. Now I'm just going to blend this in a little bit with the light Night of Navy. Yeah, I know Sue Thomas is in Northeast Ohio as well, and I know that up in the Cleveland area where my daughter lives, they are getting snow as well. They get that lake effect snow. Okay, so there she is in her jeans. And then I'm going to use, hold on here, let me see. So light balmy blue is, oh, that's Pool Party. Let me make sure I'm grabbing the right thing. Party. Okay, here's light balmy blue. So I used light balmy blue and just added some color. I'm just scribbling a little color in the windows here. I didn't want to color those in solid, just adding little bits of the blue sky showing through. Okay, just like that. Okay, and then I'm going to do the background, the bench and the window panes in Crumb Cake. And you know, I always use the fine tip. I had some friends stamping here last weekend, or last week, and they mentioned that they like the brush tip better. So it's kind of personal preference. There's no right or wrong way. I'm going to darken up a little bit of this under here because I think she would be creating a shadow under her legs there. Okay, and then I'm going to use pumpkin pie. I'm going to use a little bit of light pumpkin pie on my mug. And then I'll just blend in that in, and then I'm going to use Granny Apple Green and just color this pillow. She's on a window seat. I always thought it'd be fun to have a window seat like that. I kind of do. We have radiators in our house, and I guess you could say we have cushions on them, and they're really nice on a cold winter day to sit because they are radiating heat. Okay, now I'm just going to blend this in again. Okay, all right. Oh, and I forgot, you know what? I'm going to put a little blue barrette in her hair. Okay, so there's my coloring. I feel like I need to add just a little bit more under her feet here. Okay, there we go. Oh, good, Vicky. Vicky's excited she won the Scooby-Doo van card. I'm so glad you're on here. I was hoping, I loved your comment. That was fun. It makes me think of Scooby-Doo as well. Okay, so here is my card, and you can see it's pretty simple, pretty straightforward, and now we're going to put it together. And one thing, if you have never used the blends before, see how it saturates the paper? You always want to be sure, because of that, to color on some sort of a protective paper or something so that you don't get your table stained. All right, so then we have a Pool Party card base. It's 8.5 by 5.5 scored on the fold line. And I'm just going to layer this up with Misty Moonlight. And again, I'm going to refer to my project sheet, and it'll show you exactly the measurements that I need. to duplicate this card, or that you need if you want to duplicate the card. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and add a Misty Moonlight panel. Just going to center that on the front. I think people like these silhouette type stamp sets. I'm not sure if that's what you would call them, but Stampin' Up! Keeps coming out with them, and I will say this is one of my favorites out of all the ones that we've had. Okay, this paper, I used some of this last week for my black and white checked sports car that I made. This is another side of it, and this is that wonderful host paper, and it is called Pattern Party. You get this huge pack. If you host a party or if you put a large order in yourself, you can get this, and I think you get all of this for like, I don't know, I'm thinking it's around $15. Great pack of paper. So one side has colorful patterns, and then the other side are black and white patterns. Okay, so there's that. And then that's all there is to it. We're just going to attach this piece. And isn't that pretty? And you can see that the colors for this focal point were pulled from the designer paper. So I'm going to go ahead and attach this to my card front. You could pop this up with dimensionals if you want. I'm going to leave the whole thing flat. And then on the inside, I have a quarter panel. It is 4 by 5 1/4, and I'm going to take another word from that Special Moments stamp set. I'm just using the big Happy Birthday. This is a great stamp set, as I keep saying, but it really truly is. Okay, so I'm going to bring my and I'll just stamp Happy Birthday right on the center there, like that. The stamp set comes with some really nice greetings on its own. The In the Moment stamp set, You're in My Thoughts. Sometimes the most productive thing you can do is relax. And then You're always so good to others. Be good to yourself too. Love that. That's a good one. And look how cute the woman is, snuggled up in bed with her puppy reading a book. This is a great stamp set. Okay, and so then for this part, I just I'm going to attach, well, and I've already done it. That's my sample. I'm just going to go ahead and attach this to the center. Yes, Colleen, I know you have that DSP. It's sort of one that you go to time and time again. Okay, so I'm just going to bring my finished one in so you can see. And again, that goes with, you can follow along step by step if you're on my email list. And if you're not, like I said, I will be linking the link that you can just click on to sign up for to opt into getting my emails. Oh, hi, Sandra. How are you? So this is my first card for today. I'm just telling you about my project sheets that I do weekly. I call them Weekend Inspiration. They are free. It's a great way to get some free, cute card ideas. So that's card number 1 for today. And then card number 2 is also a project sheet. Let me bring that one in. So this one also uses the Special Moments word set, but it focuses on I got to think of the name of it here. Hold on. Daffodil Afternoon Designer Series paper. And let me just show you this. This is a free paper that you can get with during Celebration with a $50 product order. Look how pretty. Really good patterns. The paper is 12 by 12. I always just cut it 6 by 6 for Facebook Lives because I think it's easier for me to show you the different patterns. But look how pretty. I will be doing more with this in the future for sure, but I'm just going to make a simple card today. But you can see there's blacks and whites, and then, of course, here's the other side as well. So pretty. Okay, so the card, and again, this is a project sheet, so if you're on my email list, you would have gotten this email to you. I think I sent this, not this past weekend, but maybe the weekend before. picture of the card, all the supplies used, the inks, the papers, the cardstock, everything, the measurements, and then step by step that walks you through how to create this card. So it's really fun. And did I mention my project sheets are free? So here is the card that we're going to make. Isn't it pretty? All right, so I'm going to start with my card base. This is Mossy Meadow, 5.5 by 8.5, scored at 4 1/4. I'm going to go ahead and grab a bone folder here, give it a nice crease there. Okay, I'm going to lay this flat because I think it's easier to attach all these different panels. Okay, so the first panel I'm going to add is this pattern paper from the Daffodil Afternoon DSP. And that's going to just be placed right there. And look how cute this part is. Isn't that cute with the hearts? I like that. I love hearts. Okay, so I'm going to use my glue and just attach this. I know that some of you watching already get my project sheets, my weekend inspiration as I call it, and I know I get a lot of response from them when I send them out, so I think people like them. Okay, so this is a little, for these two shapes, and I wanted to show you that you can switch up things. Like you may get a project sheet and perhaps you don't have all the dies. This uses the Hippo and Friends dies, which is really beautiful, but I thought I would switch it up this time. This is the Stitch So Sweetly dies. As you know, those are kind of one of my go-to dies, but you can switch it up. So I think you can use these project sheets as like a springboard to your stamping. So I'm going to, first of all, stamp my greeting on this, and I used, for someone who is wonderful in each and every way, I need to find it. Here it is. Okay. For someone who is wonderful in each and every way, and that's going to fit right here. Okay. And that was Mossy Meadow ink as well. Okay. And that's all the stamping I'm going to do on this one. Then what I did was I took a piece of the designer paper, and you can see this is a 6 by 12 piece. I've cut the 12 by 12 in half, but I actually just found one of these floral images and cut it out with my paper snips. And so that's how I came up with that. It's not really even stamped. There is a beautiful bundle that goes along with this beautiful daffodil paper. It's Daffodil Daydream Bundle. It has some beautiful daffodils, and I love this. I think that's really neat. Butterflies, some nice greetings. But I'm kind of using this special moments today. So let's go ahead and put this together. I'm going to attach this panel, and again, it's from the Stitch So Sweetly dies. I have them here. Let me glue this down and I'll show you. And just put this right here, like that. Here are the Stitch So Sweetly dies, and I use these all the time. Like I said, they're one of my go-to sets. I love these scallop stitched shapes, the rectangular shapes, and then these little labels, and there's even like a little banner. But these two, the larger two here, are the ones that I used for my card today. All right, so that's going to go on here, but first I'm going to take a little bit of ribbon. This is Pale Papaya. I love this ribbon. So I'm just going to snip a little piece of this. I'm going to fold it in half. Let's see, that's about enough. And get my paper snips. Okay. All right, and then this I'm just going to loop like this to get that little loop in the, it's not, you could just do it like this, that would be fine and really pretty, but what I did was turned it, like that. It's going to stick up a little bit. I kind of like that. All right. This will be attached to the back of this panel. So I'm going to take some adhesive, my tape runner, and put that on the back, and that'll help hold my ribbon in place. Like that. And then I'm going to put some dimensionals on here so that this whole panel will pop up. Hi, Judy. Judy's running late. I can relate. Okay, so I'm just going to put those dimensionals on the back, and then I'll place this panel on my card front. And we're almost done. This goes together pretty quickly. I think sometimes the hardest part of making a card is designing it and coming up with the ideas, and that's why I think these project sheets are so great. And then this is just going to be right here, resting there. I'm going to put one dimensional just right here. And I'm just going to rest that right there like that. Okay, and there's our card. And then, of course, to finish it, I would go ahead and put a panel of vanilla, very vanilla, on the inside. And you could stamp a greeting. You could put another flower on the inside. This, my sample has thinking of you on the inside. So, all right. So there's my card, and you could add some embellishments. I think it would be really pretty. Well, actually, so I have, these are those genial gems. I think they would be pretty, really pretty on here. I think I may just add those. And again, that gives you an idea with the project sheet, how you can kind of tweak it and make it your own, but it's a springboard to get you started. So I'm going to just pull a couple of these off because I think these would be pretty on here. Some there and there, and then I think I'll put a little one up here like that, and that just dresses it up a little bit. And you know, we all love bling. You see that? It's real sparkly. All right, I'm gonna go ahead, let me bring in my other card. So these are the two cards I made today, both from project sheets, and it's fun. I love the project sheets, and all you have to do to get them weekly, I send them out every weekend. I call it Weekend Inspiration. I send 4 or 5 free tutorials. All you have to do is sign up for my email. And in my emails, I also let you know of any special Stamp It Up may be having, maybe classes that I'm offering or specials that I may be offering to my customers. If you're on my team, you get these Weekend Inspiration emails as well, and I know that they appreciate them because I always hear from them after I send them out, some of them. So I hope that you enjoyed these today. I appreciate you watching. Don't forget to leave a comment or share because you may be the lucky winner of one of these cards next week. And I will be coming back on Thursday. All through Celebration, which is January and February, I'm going to be doing a Facebook Live Take 2 on Thursdays, where I focus on some of the different Celebration products that we have. I did talk about some today with that Daffodil Afternoon Designer Series paper, because that is a Celebration product. But I have some other things. There's a lot in that little Celebration brochure, so I will be sharing with you, and I look forward to that. I always appreciate you joining me. I look forward to seeing you on Thursday at 1 o'clock. And as always, I hope you have time to be creative today. Goodbye, my friends.